Alrighty, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Good to
I'm
hear.
great. I'm great. We're
Good
doing
to hear.
great.
Good to hear. So the question I ask people every time they come on the podcast for the first time is, if you could sum up Christ, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity's character in one word that's been exhibited in your life, what would that characteristic be?
You gotta think about it.
Forgiving.
Explain your answer, please.
I mean, it took a lot to get to where I am, like this person I am. I wasn't always the nicest.
Really?
And
let me give them some background real quick. I've known this woman since the 8th grade. So it's been some time. So, I hear you, but continue what you're saying.
So without, saying too much, I always haven't been the nice girl. And it took a lot for me to, own up to a lot of stuff. I did apologize to the people that I needed to apologize to, things like that. And it's just like, thank God for that, because a lot of people don't do stuff like that. And the fact that God was able to not only show me what I did wrong, but say, hey, I forgive you. You need to forgive you. And then you need to let the people that you hurt work on forgiving you too.
Yeah,
so that was
good.
Something forgiving. I think that's the word.
Yeah, and Onisha's not the only mean one. I was mean as well. So it's not just she was a mean person. Anyways, go ahead, Kadeem.
So for me, it's faith. I done been through a lot, a lot of things, so many things, and through all that, even when I'm going through, I'm in my low times, I keep the faith, and I have a certain sort of peace because I know that He got me. I know that everything's gonna be taken care of. I know that I already had the victory. So with that, it's always faith for me because I done been through some crazy things, and I'm still here and able to get past them and actually grow from them and be better off, after those things. So it's definitely faith for me because as long as I feel like as long as I keep the faith, then I'll be fine. And because he always got me. So
that's true. Just holding on to it through whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You just know that you're gonna you're gonna come out no matter how dark it may look. Like you're gonna come out on the other side. You know what I mean? So
and I think that's awesome.
For me.
That's awesome to be a faithful husband as well. So I think that's something the Lord calls you to, and I'm sure that helps Onishi at times as well. So that's awesome. Yeah, and you guys have both given me answers that people have never given me before. So
that's always good to give you something fresh, new,
good stuff. So my first question to you guys is, which sex position was the one that gave you guys I'm just kidding.
Her name's Aya. A lot of people do that. It's Aya. Not
Aya.
Yeah, we switched it up. It's Aya, but it's
you switched it up. Okay. Do you guys have a picture to share with the people?
Oh my gosh, I have tons of pictures.
Because she is one of the cutest children I've seen in my whole life, actually.
Yeah, that's our future point guard right there.
There we go. Yeah. You can barely see her,
that's
but
our girl.
Just know she's cute. Just know she's the cutest kid ever.
We'll send a picture so you can just plop in there.
Okay, gotcha.
Just make that the pin for the podcast.
You know what? Oh my gosh, look at her. Such a cute kid. It's ridiculous. I can't. I really cannot. Oh my God. So
yeah.
Cute. I don't lie, okay? If a kid's not cute, I'm not going to sit here and do all this.
Nice clothes, nice shoes. Yeah.
No, you don't understand. Like how honest you are. Sonata is the same way. Like
I'm going to not say anything, or I'll say everything.
It's just like, no.
So I'm being completely honest. That is such a cute kid.
Thank you.
But yes, as you guys can see, we're going to be talking about intimacy after babies. After the baby. So I just want to kind of outline what intimacy is because it doesn't always have to be sexual. So I got the Oxford Dictionary definition. It's pretty short and sweet, but basically it's close familiarity or friendship, or closeness. So, it also says a private, cozy atmosphere. So that is intimacy. Yes. So were you guys nervous at all about the change in the intimacy relationship before you had a baby?
I'll let you go first.
So I didn't really even think about it, to be quite honest. Everything kind of, I won't say it happened fast, but like it was just like, okay, like once I knew the news, it was like I just started preparing myself for like having, taking care of the baby. You get what I'm saying? So like that was the only thing that was on my mind. Like I was focused on, okay, making sure I have things in my life in place so that we can make sure the baby's good. Like that's what I was thinking about. So it was kind of, to be honest, it was kind of like an afterthought for me, because I was just focused on making sure the baby was going to be good and like everything was going to be set for the baby and she wasn't going to have any worries or anything like that. So, and then just making sure I could also, take care of her during pregnancy. So like, she had some sickness and whatnot. So that was my focus, on just taking care of her to make sure that the baby would be good, and then making sure everything was in place for the baby. So, putting up the crib, making sure her room was right.
Yeah,
all
that sounds like a very manly answer.
So I wasn't even thinking about, I was like, once I knew a baby was coming, I wouldn't even think about sex no more, because like, we don't need another one. We got this one right now. You know what I mean? We got this one right now. So like, we need to make sure that this one is good, and we got to make sure we can take care of this one first before we go ahead and think about another one. So that was my mindset.
Yes, he wasn't. I was. I definitely was. Listen, because we married, and mind you, we were newlyweds. We had just hit our first year.
Okay.
No, we were a couple months before our first year when I found out. We announced on our anniversary.
Okay.
But so personally for me, I had some concerns. I really did, because one, the first year is important, because you're getting to know each other as husband and wife, if you're catching my drift, you know what I mean? And you got a lot of time to know each other biblically,
Amen. And
it was just a shock, because it's like, okay, now that this baby's here, my body's going to change. You know me, we've done sports together. I'm very like, I've always looked good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh my God, am I going to look different? And will he still want me because I look different? I got like, stretch marks, and I'm going to have this big old belly. And then after the baby, I'm going to have this saggy belly, and, my boobs aren't going to be where they used to be. So I genuinely had concerns about like what sex would look like post baby.
Yeah. So
I was nervous.
So how did the conversations go with like the change in intimacy? Did you guys even have that conversation, and how was that?
I don't feel like we ever really had.
Later on. Yeah,
it was later on, because like he said, he was more concerned about baby being okay, baby having food, baby having a roof, baby having a crib, and so I mean, we didn't have time to talk. And then I was a new grad nurse, and I'm working night shift. He's working during the day. We really don't have time to talk. You know what I mean? We didn't have time to like really sit and talk. We had like our date days, but even then, like we're on a date, we're not trying to, talk about all the heavy stuff on a night that's supposed to be light and fun. You know what I mean?
So when do you feel like you guys actually had the conversation?
I can answer that. Yeah. So for me, I feel like we had it when Nisi felt like it was lacking. So like she brought it up to me that she basically wanted to be more intimate. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that because I feel like once the baby came, we was just focused on her. We was focused strictly on the baby. So as far as that goes, it would happen every now and then, but like most of the time we didn't have time, like, because the baby would cry in the middle of the night or whatever, or it's so many things happen. Sana, take your time. But anyway, so many things happen. So it's just like we didn't even have like the time to do it, or the even just thinking about it, like the energy you got, because to have good sex, you need energy. You know what I'm saying? And like the energy wasn't there either. So so all of that, it kind of came to a point where like Nisi noticed that it was lacking. So she brought it up to me, and we had that conversation, and then we started taking steps to reconcile that.
So how soon after the baby did you guys have that conversation?
She was maybe 2 months, 2-3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to heal.
I'll probably say like 3 to 5,
Yeah,
actually.
like, okay, so maybe
Probably
it's
like
time
3 to
to,
5.
I think it's
Yeah.
time to heal. There's a lot going on after you have a baby, and then I was getting used to this new body. So I was like, well, maybe he's just not into it because, you know, I just had a baby. Maybe he's grossed out because he was in the room. Like, he's down there catching her, cut her cord, like all that. So, like, he's seen all that. And I'm like, oh, this man is traumatized. Like,
he's never want to go back down there again.
Right. I'm like, he's never gonna want to, you know, do that again. But like he said, like after, like once I noticed it was like lacking, I was like, yeah, we gotta fix that. But
I think that's very
I also
brave
wanted her
of
to
you.
heal too. You know, I also wanted her to
Yeah.
heal because, you know, I ain't really trying to mess that up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That makes sense.
I wasn't trying
That's
to do no
respectful.
parts of that. So.
That's kind of you.
Yeah, I mean, I waited like 3 months, 4 months before I said something, you know. And you know, the
So
doctors,
what was that
they
like for you?
recommend
Because I just feel like that was really brave of you to have that conversation. Like some people may not have even done that. So what made you comfortable? Like what was like the build up to that?
So honestly, like I feel like when Kadeem and I have really like hard, heavy conversations, I feel safe enough to bring it to them because I know, one, he's not gonna like make fun of me. Two, he's genuinely gonna listen to what I'm gonna say. And then three, he always has some type of resolution. And if he doesn't have one, he'll work to find one. So I never feel like when I have to ask him or talk to him about like really hard stuff, I'm never really nervous because I know the conversation is gonna end okay. I feel safe enough to do that.
That's what, you know what, that's where it starts. A healthy marriage. That's where it starts.
We were friends way before we even started dating.
Conversation is important. So yeah, we would have hard talks. We would have hard talks before we got married. You know what I'm saying? Like, because before you get married, it's certain things that you need to be on the same page about. You know what I mean? It's certain things that you know, you got to figure out the other person's non-negotiables, if that makes sense. So though a lot of times those are tough conversations, and then you have to figure out as far as like how the other person works and things like that. So conversation is definitely is an important part of a relationship, and I feel like we had that before we got married. So once it came to the marriage, like it was a little easier. We can bring up almost anything to each other, because we know the person isn't gonna like take it the wrong way or whatnot. Like they're always gonna have a listening ear, and it's going to be a valuable conversation. Like we wouldn't say anything that is unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be a valuable conversation. And if it's being brought up, the other person is aware that, okay, she's bringing it up, so it has to be some type of issue or whatnot. So
that's good.
They're more receptive. Good. Yeah, for sure.
And we never cross any hard lines, like nothing below the belt. I can say that, like when we have our creative discussions, we never hit below the belt, which is one, rare, and two, very refreshing, because I know, like, people I've dated in my past, it's always been an issue. Like, people would try to, like, really hurt me. He doesn't try to hurt me. It's never, like, his first thought.
Yeah, that's
which
important.
Is appreciated.
Yeah. That's important. And I actually just recently did an episode on emotional intelligence and how it really builds foundation for relationships, where there's never situations where you're like, I didn't mean that when I said that, so why did you say it then? You know? Why are you saying things you don't mean? And people can't unhear what you've said to them. So I think that's awesome that you guys have, you know, non-negotiables even in your communication, what you'll never say to each other. That's really important. So I'm glad to hear that for you guys. Just as the therapist to me is so proud of you guys. I'm happy. Thank you. Good stuff. You out here treating my friend like I like it.
No, it's not. You know, it sounds easy, but it's not. You know, it's.
Sonata, you know me. You know my temper. You know my moods. Listen,
God is good. He gave you a good one.
He did, but I literally had to pray, like, Lord, watch my mouth. Lord, watch my temper. Please help me say the right thing, because there are times where I want to be like, but I don't. Because the Holy Spirit.
All right. So, kind of leading into the next question, how has your relational intimacy and your sexual intimacy changed since having the baby? So you can kind of talk about those things separately, or you can talk about it together.
You want to start?
Yeah. So relationally, I feel like because our communication is so strong, we're still pretty good there. Like, we can still have fun. We still hang out. You know, we still do things. It's a bit harder because one, we're in a different state now, so we're not like as close to family. We have a couple cousins and an aunt and uncle here, but I mean, you know, they still have lives too. We don't want to take the baby. We need to go out. We need a break. Like, we try to, you know, bring her. And that's another thing too. We bring her with like on a lot of our outings because like we just want her to see cool stuff. Like, we're doing cool stuff. She should be doing cool stuff too. Yeah, she's only a year, but you know, why not?
Her brain will remember.
Yeah, sure. We got pictures. Like, I take pictures of everything. But like, yeah, he literally is like my best friend, which is like something I'm very thankful for. Sexually, like I said, with a baby is hard. Thankfully, though, she sleeps in her own crib, so you know, mommy and daddy have their own bed.
Oh,
so
good. Good for
like,
you guys.
Yeah. Oh, that was a hard no for me. Like, the first couple weeks of life, we were like, yeah, and I was like, oh, it could be okay, but he was like, no, put her in the bassinet. I was like, all right.
Good.
But sexually, yeah, it's hard because I still work nights. Shout out to the night shift. I see y'all. I feel y'all. And he's taking care of baby during the day, so like I can nap and stuff a lot of the time. So, you know, we still miss each other, but like I get 4 days off, which is great. So
yeah, I heard nurses be getting
cool
schedules like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, we try to make it work on my off days.
So do you feel like relationally you guys are closer, or you're just kind of where you were before the baby?
No, I definitely feel like we're closer because like we made a human, you know what I mean? And it's just like when we both look at her, we're like, yo, how did that come from this? Like, she's literally the most perfect thing I have ever had the opportunity to come across. Like, she is amazing.
Cute.
And I can't help but like love him even more because it's like, wow, like you gave me such an awesome gift. Like, you got to meet her next time I'm in Florida. You have to meet her.
For sure. I'm looking forward to
10
it.
out of 10. 10 out of 10. And she's pretty funny. She's only a year, but she's pretty funny.
I know. I saw her name, and so yeah, she's she's a gem.
So for me, relational, it definitely brought us closer, because we have to, it's more intentional. Like our everything is more intentional. You know what I'm saying? Even like when we bring her out, like it's intentional because she sees her parents loving on each other. You know what I mean? So everything is intentional as far as like relationally, and even like intimacy wise, like it's scheduled. You know, we got to schedule it in because we have to make sure that we get that time in. So you know, making a schedule, and we know you know, this day that we need to, like, whatever we got to do for ourselves as far as making sure we have enough energy or not, whatnot. Like, we have to make sure that we're able to, you know, have our intimate time. You know what I mean? And I was big on not having a baby sleep with us. Like, even like last night, she was trying to have a baby sleep with us. I was like, no, bro, like I'm not, no, like, and she thought I was tripping. She thought I was tripping. I was telling her like, no, bro, like I can't even like hold you, like, cause the baby in the way, like, like no, like, you know what I'm saying, like anyways, yeah, so it's everything is more intentional now, and like scheduling things. So like we have the schedule. Of course, we schedule the sex, but also we, you know, schedule dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that way we know, okay, this day, shoot, we got to make sure we have a babysitter and all this. So that way we have that time to ourselves. So like, the biggest thing is like intentionality. So I think everything is a little bit more intentional now because we know we have a baby, and like we're not gonna have the time all the time. And then as she grows up, she's already acting now, but she's gonna get more active. Like she might start, you know, waking up, and she might, if she's not in the crib, she might start coming in our room and stuff. I'm not looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? So like
I was that child.
So we definitely have to like make sure that we schedule the time in for ourselves, to make sure we have that time together. That's definitely important.
And I think a lot of people that might be younger don't understand that that's actually a real thing that people have to do. Like, you have to schedule it. Like, that's a real thing. It's not just something you hear on TV. Like, genuinely, you have to schedule it.
It's facts. It's facts.
At 6 p.m. on the 5th, let me know what's up. You free, I'm free, cool. And then our calendars are like, what's the word? Connected.
Synced.
Synced. That's the
Love
word.
it.
They're synced. So either one of us could be like, this is the day I need you this day. Do you see it on your calendar? Be there.
We'll make room for it.
And both of us do it. Listen, both of us do it.
And then the good thing about it is too, like, it's a build up there. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, this is going down. You know what I'm saying? It's a build up. It's a build up to the time. Like, okay, it's like you're looking forward to it. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's even during the day, like, you know, we still on for the night. You know, like it's like it's a build up. So like it you know, it helps, and it helps the whole experience, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't have a baby, I would recommend scheduling it in, because it helps. You know, it really helps. And as far as like the build up, it's a lot more intimate. You might be able to, you know, if you got, you know, if you're single, if not single, but like if you don't have a baby, then, you know, you got time to maybe like put out some flowers or whatever. Like you can make it a whole event. You know what I mean? So. Definitely recommend it. Yeah.
And when you're talking about her not sleeping with you guys, literally, I just thought to myself, I don't know how my parents had a third child because I was in there. Okay, I was in there.
Yeah, he's very like, what if she opens the door? And I'm like, well, she's a baby right now. We don't have to worry about that right now. Like,
she won't worry.
Definitely get some locks.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, what are some ways that your relationship changed that you didn't expect? And that could be positive or negative.
I feel like after having a baby, I was kind of emotional, and I'm already emotional. Like I have a lot of big emotions, and I'm aware of that. So I try not to do too much. But after having that little girl, I don't know. I was just like I cried all the time, and it'd be over silly stuff. And I still feel like I have some of those big emotions, and it's been a year, but I still feel like I'm like, oh, why don't you love me? And he's like, bro,
I'm literally like married to you.
Like, no, literally. Listen. We got married, and the night before I was like, hey, you still trying to do this? Like, you sure? Like I texted him. I'm like, you sure? Like, you still? He's like, please shut up. I'll see you tomorrow. But I think that's one of the things that I feel like impacted me negatively is like, I'm still kind of emotional, but he's a good balance. Like, so he like absorbs all that. And I'm so sorry I do that to you, but he absorbs a lot because he's not very, like he's not very emotional. So he's just like, okay. What about you, hun?
Yeah. So for me, I have to be more emotional. So I have to, because we have the baby, like I can't be like so stoic, like, you know what I'm saying? I have to show her love. You know what I mean? I have to show her that I love her, because that's kind of at this point in time, like she can only know what she sees. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't really understand words like that or anything. So I have to show her that I love her, and I have to show her that I love her mother. So I have to be more emotional. I have to, you know, I could say a lot of stuff, but I have to kind of take more action into showing it. So that way, you know, she sees that, and she sees the love of her parents.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for me to like, I have to be more emotional, you know, in a sense that I'm not really used to doing that, because, I don't know if it's like, maybe I guess where I'm from or just how I grew up, like, you know, or just a male thing, you know, not many of them like show too much emotion or anything like that. So just having to, especially with having a girl too, you know what I'm saying? I have to show that to her, because, you know what I'm saying? She needs to see that from her father. You know what I mean? So
and that's a really good point.
I think, I think that's a positive thing in a sense, because, it also helps with Nisi, because Nisi, but she needs that. She needs to, that love from me, as far as, and from an emotional standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like she needs, to see the action from me rather than just the words, or like my love language. I need to show her, you know, love in her love language.
Yeah. Man, that's a really good point to bring up because I didn't even think about that aspect, like you having to make that change emotionally for your daughter as well. So what has that been like for you, that change?
It's tough because at the same time, I still try to like make her tough, if that makes sense. Like she a thug. I ain't gonna lie to you, she a thug. Like she'll fall. Like when we were back in Florida visiting my family. My grandma has a glass table. So she was all around. She fell. She hit her head on it. Literally got back up. Like nothing was wrong. Like you know what I'm saying.
I'm
So
here for it.
like so like I have to like definitely find that balance because like sometimes she'll be crying and it's like, all right, look, I'm not trying to hear all that crying, like you are fine, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time like she's one, you know, like she's still a baby and she's a girl, so at the same time like you can't be like too hard. I can't be, you know, too hard, but I still want her to have a little bit of like tough exterior for these, you know, nappy head little boys. You know what I'm saying? So like,
for sure.
It's tough because I need to have like that perfect balance. I feel, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still trying to find that like perfect balance of showing, you know, love, but at the same time, you know, kind of teaching her to be, you know, tough in her own way.
Yeah, that's really good. That's good. So,
Yeah, that was good.
do you feel like you'd be different if it was a boy you're raising?
100%. I'm not dealing with none of that crying. I'm not dealing with none of that nothing. Like, no, like be a man. You won. Wash the dishes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like take the trash out. You won. You're a man. You know
we'll
what I'm saying?
chat when you have a boy, Onisia.
Yeah. So,
but you saying the balance. Go ahead.
I definitely think it's good that I had a girl because I feel like I kind of needed it.
I think you saying like the balance is important too. Like, I think that's why it's important to have two parents in the home as well. Because Onisia can be the, you know, softer one to the boy, and you can be a little harsher to him, and vice versa. Maybe Onisia will be, you know, a little more, I don't know, harsh on
the boy.
I'm trying to remember how to say her name correctly.
Aya.
Yes, I knew it. Mm-hmm. She'll be a little more harsh on Aya, and maybe you'll be a little soft on her. So
that happens sometimes. Crazy enough, you know what I mean? Because she's a daddy's girl. So like sometimes, you know, Nisi might, you know, not want to be bothered. You know, sometimes she's tired or whatever from work, so she don't want to be bothered. Oh, she got bedhead.
No. I can't breathe. I'm dying. The baby has entered the chat. Oh my God. She's so cute. I can't breathe.
So like sometimes, you know, Nisi don't be wanting to be bothered, and I gotta be like, come here, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got you. You know, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's still finding that balance, but it's good having both of us in the home 100% because we kind of feed off of each other as well.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Like, how do you guys see the positives of being in a two-parent home for each other, but also for Aya?
Oh, dang. See, she getting deep. So for me, my parents, they weren't together. I didn't have a two-parent home until my mother married my stepdad when I was like 11. So it was like a lot of back and forth. You know, my dad really wasn't present. So when I did see him, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, it's my dad. And then when I didn't, I'm like, okay, it's whatever. So, but that made me really, what's the word? Suspicious of men. You know, like I really was like, you're saying these things, but you're doing the opposite. So it's making me a little, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
So I don't want her to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I want her to have some type of discretion. And when it comes to men, like, okay, I want you to like feel people out. But at the same time, I don't want her to be as untrusting as I was. Cause it took me a long time to even really trust him. And he never gave me a reason for him not to be. I mean, I'm still working through stuff with him, and we've been married almost 3 years in November. So that's one thing that I love, is that she's seeing a healthy relationship early. I didn't get to see it until I'm already a preteen at that point. You know what I mean? I've already formed ideas. I've already got my opinions.
Your personality.
Exactly. All that. I'm a young adult at that, like a young woman. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But her, she won't see that. She won't have that harsh look and viewpoint on men like I did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I'm happy about. Like, there's two of us, and I wasn't having no baby without being married. So that was one of my. We weren't doing that.
Yeah, for real. So for me, I think it's just super valuable. Not only like I honestly, I can't imagine how tough it is for single parents. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
I just know, because even taking care of her by myself at certain times, like I just know having to do that all the time, like that would be super draining. Like, you know what I'm saying? So definitely thankful for having a 2-parent household. Like I didn't necessarily grow up in one either. Like it was kind like, my parents got divorced when I was like 8, so it was kind of the same thing. And then like my dad remarried, but my mom, she kind of did it for a while. So I was going back and forth, and then my mom ended up like moving to a whole nother state. So it was I mean, I didn't really have any ill will towards any of my parents or anything, but I just know that I wanted my child to grow up, with both of the parents in the household. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I didn't have that. So I wanted to make sure that she had that. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that she had that, and she was going to be, that she would be able to see a healthy relationship. So, she knows what that looks like. I wasn't in too many relationships before. I wasn't in too many relationships before, you know what I'm saying? Before Nisi. So like I still had to learn what that was like to be in a relationship and be in a healthy relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a difference between, being in a relationship with somebody, but being in a healthy relationship, it takes, it's a little bit more work, and it takes lot of trial and error. I'll say patience, all of that stuff. So, definitely think it's super beneficial that she's able to grow up in a 2-parent household, and she can see, she can get love from both of us, but she can also see us love on each other and know like, okay, like my parents love each other. And, I that's what she can see that, and she can have a goal of that, you know what I'm saying? Rather than, kind of trying to be so independent, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's good for, in my opinion, it's good for a woman to be independent, but at the same time,
God made the man for a reason.
Like, at the same time, it has to be a little bit of, like, let me do something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's a great thing that, she's able to have both the parents in the home.
Yeah, I've been go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is stuff we talked about while dating. Like we're like what, a year, 2 years in, and we're like, okay, so if we were to get married and have a kid, how would that look? What are we gonna do? So I feel like that helped too.
That's important. I was just gonna say a joke, so I'm gonna say it now still. I was just gonna say I've been a closet advocate for submission like my whole life. Like I would love to submit to a man. Put the work on him. I don't want to be independent. I don't want to. I'm over it. I've been independent too much. So I think that's. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Shout out to submission into that.
Okay. Yep. Hashtag submit. They're gonna hate us in the comments. But yeah, that's really good. So what do you guys think you'd want Aya to know about you guys or about this season that you're in right now? Like, what do you want her to know?
That's a good question. I want her to know that it takes a work to be in a relationship, so that way she'll take her time. Like it's not, we may make it look easy, you know what I'm saying, but it isn't easy by any means. There's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of compromise, always compromise. There's a lot of research, for lack of a better term, that has to be done. Like it take a lot of work. So you know what I'm saying, I want her to know that it's not nothing easy, and it take a lot of work, and it take time for, to build a good relationship, to build a great relationship. So I want her to know that, so she'll make sure she's, picky, and she take her time with, getting into relationships for sure. And even like friendships, they take time to build and to grow and to, and things of that nature. So just relationship in general, I want her to know that, they do take work. So
yeah, that's good.
Definitely. Yeah.
What I want her to know is that she's so loved. Like and not even from just us. We have like extended family, friend. Like for her first birthday, I had so many boxes of stuff here that people were just, and it made me so emotional because like you're spending your own money on a child that's not even yours. Ugh, don't make me cry. I'm gonna cry again. But like genuinely, with me and her father, when we make our decisions, when we even simple stuff about what we're gonna do for the day, like we always keep her in mind. And I just want her to know that she's always our first thought. And I pray that she knows that, and that helps her build a certain level of confidence in herself too, that she's always got someone that's got her back. Like there's always a group of people in her corner.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think those things will translate for sure.
I hope so.
Yes, definitely praying that that's the case. But even like, just to kind of show her that she's loved like by other people, we didn't have, our registry was fully taken care of. Like everything on our registry, was bought. Like, and that was crazy to me. That was like that exactly. Like that was like, I feel like, that showed, I think honestly, not tooting our own horn, but that kind of shows a testament to the people that we are. Like, people don't know her yet. She isn't even here yet, but people want to, be a part of her and take care of her and, get her gifts. And I think that was just a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So, definitely want her to know that. And
like we literally
definitely
want to be clothes to last her until she's about 3 or 4. Like that's how much stuff. Like I barely have a closet. He barely has a closet. Like she has so much stuff.
But that's a testament to you guys understanding the importance of a village too. Like it's not just you two sitting there with Aya, like it's many people that are sitting right there with you guys. So that's awesome. I think that you guys,
like when I was pregnant, that was something I was worried about too. I'm like, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Da, da, da. And God know my heart. He know I'll be worrying, but he just is like, he literally was like, stop, please stop talking. And I was like, oh, you ever feel that way? And the Holy Spirit just be like, stop talking.
Yep.
Ooh. And he showed out because like even like around the time of her baby shower, my brother had an incident, so I ended up canceling the shower to be with my family. And people were so understanding, and they were just, because like people were gonna travel, like some people had already like booked hotels and stuff, but they were so understanding. And I was like, ugh. And still sent more than we needed. Like we have to donate some stuff because it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing, the outpour of people's love onto her. And she's only been here a little
about
bit.
2 days.
Yeah. I've been on just like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a blessing. It really is. And I just feel like, gosh, I can't even put it into words. And I just pray that she can look back on like even this podcast one day and just be like, wow, like people loved me. My parents, they were in love and they made me out of love. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't like, oh no, she was planned and she was made with love. And
yeah, that's beautiful.
I just want her to know that.
Yeah. I love her already. I love her already.
Silly, bro. She's silly.
But that's just a testament to the kind of people you are too. And I think it's important to give honor where honor's due. And when I see people who have a heart for building family, even if it's not people that are your family, and understand the importance of being family to people that aren't your family and building a village, I think that's beautiful. And I think that is the heart of God. So it's obvious that you guys have done that because literally people have loved you in response to that. So they're your flowers right there for y'all. So just some small practical things. What would you tell people that are trying to keep the intimacy alive, relationally and sexually, after having a baby?
Plan sex, plan dates, utilize your village, because you have more people. And what I realized, you have more people in your corner than you really think. Like there are people that are around, but you're not asking for help, so they're thinking you're good. Utilize those people. My 3.
So for me, yeah, everything she said. But intimacy throughout the day is, I feel like that's important too. I recently asked Nisha. She used to like send me selfies or whatever, or the types of pictures, and I told her to, start doing that again, because that also helps with the intimacy. And like I was saying, as far as build up goes, that builds up to, to the moment. So I think intimacy throughout the day, complimenting each other, things of that nature, that's important as far as keeping the intimacy fresh and keeping it new. And then also try new things. You know what I'm saying? Take a few risks. You know what I'm saying?
There's issues, problems, and you feel like you can't. I mean, cut you off, honey. But like, if there's stuff you can't, you feel like you two aren't meshing, go to therapy. It works. Don't be afraid of it.
It sure does.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, we went to therapy. Definitely.
Like, almost 9 months.
Yeah, we were there for a while.
Good.
We did premarital too. So, but yeah, definitely throughout the day. Like, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be anything big, but those small compliments, they go a long way. Those small gestures, they go a long way. You know what I'm saying? So those are very, very important. I think those help out a lot.
And even something as simple as a board game. Kadeem and I, we have an Xbox, we got a GameCube, like we'll do games, we have board games, like even something like that. It doesn't have to be like, I think people think it has to be, this big extravagant thing where there's like, someone playing the violin and the breeze is blowing. I'm like, girl, it ain't got to be all that.
We playing
Yahtzee. Okay, we're playing Yahtzee. That's what it is. You're going to have fun.
Good stuff. So I don't know. I think I didn't even have a baby, and I'm getting more emotional as I get older. So I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm almost crying because of how successful your relationship is. I'm just really happy for you guys. So that's beautiful. I'm glad you guys went to therapy and you're willing to communicate. And I think another big thing that Onishi was saying is like allowing yourself to reassure people. That's not a bad thing to have to reassure someone that you love. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you need to hear your partner say like, I do love you, like, ask the question, and you need to be someone who can respond well to that and not be like offended that someone's asking you, so
for sure.
That's good.
That was something I had to work on, because like she would ask me, although I feel it was a little excessive, at the same time, if she needs that, I need to, be able to provide that for her. So I had to understand that, and understand that even though I may feel one type of way about it, she was not saying it for fun, she's saying because she needs it, you know what I'm saying? So just definitely being aware of that, and not taking it the wrong way, and just kind of really that it comes with like, knowing your partner and time and all of that stuff for sure. So, but yeah, definitely important.
It's good. Were you going to add something, Onisia?
Maybe. I was going to say I'm big, because I need to hear it, because I'm big on verbalizing and showing people how much, like, if I love you, I'm gonna tell you I love you.
Exactly.
And I want you to hear it all the time.
Me too.
And I'm gonna tell you all the time. But him, like, obviously he tells me he loves me and stuff, but it's like, I need to hear more. Tell me you're obsessed with me. Tell me you're gonna faint if I leave the room. That's what I need. But he knows that. So that's why we work. He knows I'm extra. Yeah. And I need him to be extra with me. And then with him, it don't even take much. I did your laundry. I got that stain out your pants. Oh, thanks. I really need it. That's it. I made you a sandwich. Oh, you're the best. Like, it doesn't take much for him.
That's great.
He's very
it's nothing like a good sandwich.
Yeah. What is it with men and their sandwiches? We need to figure out the science behind it.
No.
It's nice. It's just food in general, We didn't have to do it. Like, anything I don't have to do, you did it for me. Oh, it's great. Yeah. I'm an acts of service type of guy. So
good stuff.
Can you guess what my love language is?
Gifts. I'm playing.
Words
of affirmation.
Tell me all the things. Tell me all the things.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, showing me your beautiful child. What an honor. Hi. What a beautiful guest appearance. As you guys know, you can watch the podcast on YouTube as well, so you can see their beautiful child. If you guys have any questions for them or any comments, definitely put them down in the comment section, and if they would desire to answer them, I will pass them along. So, as you guys know, you can listen to the Parallel at the Parallel Pod. What? You can follow the Parallel at the Parallel Pod on Instagram and on TikTok. And remember to speak the truth in love and kiss the sun. See you guys next week. Bye.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Of
Appreciate
course.
it. Yes.